Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Friday, October 20th meeting of the Rotary Club of Brentwood. My name is Drew Rogers, and I have the privilege of serving as this club's president for this Rotary year. I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thank you all for being here. This is an important program that we have each year because our president-elect, Stephen Hammers, who is celebrating his 25th anniversary as a Rotarian today, is going to lead our program, which is the opening and kickoff for the foundation drive. And I won't steal any of his thunder about what he's going to share with you, but this is a very important part of what we do. I know we have some Rotarians that are visiting, but we also have some members that have recently joined us that are going to be joining us today, and some that are in the process of joining. And this program will give you a tremendous amount of information about what we do and what makes Rotary different from other service organizations. I will ask Devin McClendon to join me at the front to deliver the invocation. And as he comes up, I just received word before I got here today that Larry Faust has not been with us for the last few weeks because he's experiencing severe back pain. And so he's trying to determine his treatment options. And so I would just ask that you all keep Larry Faust in your prayers as Devin delivers the invocation for us today. Devin?
If you would, please bow your heads with me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather today with hearts of service, striving to focus on helping others in service before ourselves. We are so very thankful for our ability to fellowship together safely as people of various backgrounds and beliefs and share this meal before us. We know that there are many in this world without the freedoms we often take for granted, and we ask for your protection for those in this world battling the evil of terror and oppression so that they may live to worship you freely and without fear. We ask for your protection for those who keep us safe, those who risk their own lives in service to others. Father, we come to you today with sadness in our hearts as we have lost a friend this week, not only one, but that's one of our own, but they have lost their soulmate. We ask, God, that you be with our brother Larry Kane today and in the coming days. Help him feel your love and our love of his community as he mourns the loss of Sue. Father, we ask for your healing power for all members of this club, for both physical pain and ailments, but also for those among us who simply need to feel your presence in our life. God, please guide us to live by your vision, working to build this beloved community where all are welcome, all are valued, and all of your children know wholeness and well-being. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Now, please join me in saying pledge allegiance to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the four-way test. First, true. Second, fair to all concerned. Third,
Goodwill and our friendship
fourth,
will be
beneficial to all concerned. And
We certainly hope so. Thank you, Jason, and my apologies for not letting Linus know that you would be delivering the pledge and four-way test. I realized about midway, I probably need to be forgiven for this. I think I realized midway through Devin's invocation that I didn't announce you, so I knew it would be pretty difficult for Linus, but thank you for leading our pledge and four-way test. Went off without a hitch. So for those of you that are interested in this, Tuesday, and you would have gotten an email, Tuesday represented our 50th anniversary of the chartering of our club. So Tuesday of this week was the 50th anniversary of our club. We can probably recognize that with a round of applause. And 50 years ago today, the Sydney Opera House was opened. So how about that? We're getting to the postseason, Charles. There's not a lot of baseball. And 50 years ago, there was no postseason at the end of October. So no, there was no baseball, Charles. Jennifer Bourne. I will ask you to welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians.
All right, where is everybody? I'm gonna start at this table up here because there's a lot all together. Oh, Banks, do you want to enter? Oh, Banks is here. As you guys know, he has proposed membership. He's in the process right now, so we can get to know him over the next couple of weeks.
Banks Hickman.
All right, well, we've got Josh Jarvis right here, he's CEO of Jarvis Tree Experts. And right here is Sam Lane, who is one of our certified arborists.
Sam, Josh, thank you for being here.
Okay, we are on a roll, you guys. We've got a few more people. Where is everybody? I think they're on the other side of the room. We have Jay Cloth over there. He is submitted a proposal for membership as well, so please get to know him.
Well, Norris said I had to do all kinds of tricks and be able to recite the pledge backwards to be able to join. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I am, I've been here about 6 years. I'm in commercial real estate. I was in Florence, Alabama for 30 some odd years, where I was in the Rotary Club there for about 25 years. So good to be back in amongst the Rotarians, and hopefully I'll make the cut to this club because I know there's high standards around here.
Norris has been hazing.
You have
him
no
over
idea. Welcome, Jay.
here. Where is Steve? I saw him earlier. Well, there you are. Hey, Steve Tate. He also has a proposal in for membership. We get to know him over the next couple weeks as well.
I guess I think of Groucho Marx when he said, I would never join a club that would have me as a member, but
I don't know, the jury's still out, so be careful what you say. Okay, and then our last, but certainly not least, Matt McCall. If you haven't had a chance to meet him today, he's getting inducted here in 60 minutes. So get to know Matt McCall.
Welcome, Matt. I suppose with that, maybe the next best step would be to welcome Matt McCall and Bert Bradford to the podium so that we can introduce Matt McCall as the newest member of our club. Bert and Matt.
All right, this has been a long time coming. I had lunch with Drew back in February, and we were talking about things for the coming Rotary year. And I said, hey, I've got this guy I'd like to bring into the club. And I told him about Matt. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know Matt, but could you hold off till my term starts? So today we're going to introduce Matt McCall. He serves as the Chief Financial Officer for American Constructors, which was founded in 1979 by the former Joe Rogers, former Ed Rogers, former Jack Massey, and former Ted Welch. The company is an employee-owned general contractor. It established itself as one of the Southeast premier commercial builders with expertise in public and private schools, university, churches, healthcare, retirements. Some of their projects have included the Skimmerhorn Country Music Hall of Fame, the Lowe's Vanderbilt Plaza, the Wild Horse, Brentwood Baptist, Fordyce, and the Martin Center. Okay. Matt joined American Constructors in 2012. And as you know, we like to vet our potential members. So we didn't have to dig deep on Matt because I knew his in-laws well before he did. And if they could put up with him, I know he's got to be a good guy, the pals. And then on top of that, probably my closest friend for the last 45 years, a guy named Harold Brewer, who has passed away, who hired Matt, loved him to death, said he was a great hire. So if Harold says you're good, you're good. Matt is married to the former Kimberly Powell, and they have two daughters at the Lipscomb Academy, Kennedy and Emma, I think fifth and third grades. Yeah. And Matt enjoys cheering for his favorite teams, which happen to be the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I think February 16th, we're going to the Titans place, so you may have to change allegiance. Kansas Jayhawks. He enjoys cheering for the Kansas Jayhawks while smoking. Oh, wait. While smoking barbecue meats on his wood pellet grill. So if you would, welcome Matt McCall, please.
Matt, welcome. While I know that your time did not cross, Ed Rogers married my wife and I. He was my uncle. Joe was my great uncle, the youngest brother of my grandfather. What I know about that organization and the culture that was created by those men, because I say this with a tremendous amount of bias, but I also knew them very well. The quality of a person's character was probably their number one criteria for making a hire, and that culture has permeated that organization for decades. And so I am very proud that you have chosen to join our club. I know you'll make an amazing Rotarian, and so welcome. We're glad that you're here. I have some good news to report. That Stephen Hall, a member of our club, relatively new member of our club, he and his wife welcomed their first daughter into the world this week. That is their second child. And we received a picture. Her name is Lila Elizabeth Hall. And so hopefully Stephen will be able to join us soon, and you all will be able to congratulate him in person. And just a reminder that we currently are not able to accept credit card payments online. But if you have money burning a hole in your pocket and you want to pay your dues, there is a way to do that. You can reach out to Jason Hulse. Patrick Wright has also been deputized to accept payments, and I have been too. So you're welcome to call me, Jason, or Patrick if you need to make a dues payment, and we can do that over the phone. Before I get to one more, I want to introduce a Paul Harris Fellow, or recognize a Paul Harris Fellow. The anniversary banquet, 50th anniversary banquet. We only turned 50 once, ladies and gentlemen, and it's next week that we turned 50 on Tuesday, like I said earlier, but we have a banquet to celebrate turning 50 next Thursday. And many of you have received, some of you don't know that you've received a registration link via email. I heard from Michael Kaplan earlier this week that it went to his spam. It may have gone to your spam. That's why I sent it out yesterday. But there are a couple of options for registering. You can go online to our website. There is a link to register, or you can find the email from me or Jack Massari. The last day to sign up is today, so please do that with haste. Go to the Rotary, the BrentwoodRotary.org, and you can find the link, register. We hope to see you all there. Michelle LaFollette, Burt Bradford have done an amazing job getting that set up for us. So it's going to be a great program. Lastly, I want to recognize Jeff Brown. We didn't have this with us when he was able to join us recently, but I would like to invite you up to the podium to recognize you as Paul Harris Fellow +4. Jeff. Okie doke. And I am a glutton for punishment. And I told him I'm not going to charge him to do this, but I have asked, and for those of you that don't know, I'm an Auburn fan. Kirsten is an Auburn fan, and we play Ole Miss this weekend. And just to show you how selfless I am, I've asked Alan Treadway to lead us in Happy Bucks. So Alan, please. You just hit the button,
Hello.
Alan. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, before we get started, it's appropriate. Jeff had, what is it, number 4, +4 on his Paul Harris. I actually was at TJ Maxx this week, and I thought of Jeff actually, and I got him a present. So it's on clearance. Here you go. Show your shirt. Oh, yeah.
Well,
University
Yeah.
of Utah. Well done.
Go ahead, put it on. Put it on.
You're a giver, Alan.
Show them the yellow tag too. The yellow tag says XX. Don't worry, I'm a XX.
There it is. Well done.
There you go. That's $5.
So Utah is going to be battling Ole Miss tomorrow for number 13 in the NC2A football on our way up. But I also have a serious thank you to provide and throw in my happy buck for that. Many of you have been so kind as to help me get to at least home from Rotary meetings, and Sona Robinson has just been a great ally in all that. She has coordinated that whole exercise, and I'm very grateful for her for doing that. So, Sona, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Speaking of trees, you want to say anything about trees? Don't have any money, man.
He's- The tables have turned.
Say, look, so it's great to visit. I've been here twice. It's the happy buck is really that you guys are very welcoming to Banks. You know, it's heartfelt when you get involved and you get to change the world, but when you see the legacy continue on with other people that stand next to you and they also get involved, that's what this really is. It's service above self. So thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Well said.
Okay, oh, Jay. He's a golden knight of
UCF, but today I'm talking about, I know most of you follow Air Force Academy football, but for the couple of you who don't, Air Force is off to a great start this year. And that's a buck for my friend Jennifer Shepard, because her son is at the Air Force Academy, as is my son. They're 6-0, best start they've had since 2002. I got to share this little story. Oh, by the way, they're playing Navy this weekend. They're off to a miserable 3-3 start. We're at 6-0, so it's going to be fun. But Saturday, I'm gathered around with my in-laws, and we're watching my brother-in-law, sister-in-law. We're all watching the Air Force game. Wyoming Cowboys were 5-1. We were 5-0. So great game, back and forth. Right at the end, Air Force takes it. We're all excited. The cadets who usually stay in the stands, while the football team comes up to them, they sing the alma mater. The cadets rush the field, and we're like, "Whoa, this is different. We've never seen that." All right, and so we're so excited. They're panning through the crowd as they're singing the alma mater, and we're all sitting there saying, "Wouldn't it be great?" My son just like popped up on the screen. You know, we just got to, and boom, there he was, a big close up of my son singing the alma mater. That was the best. So that's my happy bucks.
Wow. Heck of a story. The Vanderbilt guy. It's just Vanderbilt.
Hey, I have two happy bucks. One is for the people that showed up on the 7th for the Rotary food distribution. It was great. We had 12 people there. We got through that, record time. We had probably over 250 cars that we served that day. And the other is for Steve Huff, who couldn't be here today because he's having his second grandchild. She was born this morning. And so next month or next week, whenever Steve comes back, we'll make him tell us all about it. But that's his second little girl.
Yeah. All right, give him a hand. Who's gonna donate $1? Curry. Did you do something recently? I can't remember. Something. I don't know.
The Foundation Drive program is supposed to begin in a few minutes, Alan.
That's $1, Jared.
The YMCA named after Curry Andrews, the donation to build a new YMCA.
There you go. Give him a hand. Stand up. Stand up. All right. Okay. Who's gonna do? Oh, you did. Oh, Bob.
Well, I'm from Stanford, and we can't even talk about trees, so I'm so excited to be next to these guys. I can't tell you. No football.
Although Stanford did beat Colorado.
There you go.
Speaking of trees, tree hugger. Hey, I love trees. Give $1. He's a cow bear, and they are the true tree huggers. So, and Florida State.
What about them?
That's $1. Yeah, that's the Stanford.
I got
guy.
his $1.
All right. Okay. Jason. The Rice grad.
Well, at Rice, we can always talk about trees, but it's rare that we get to talk about football. But last night in the battle for the bottom, Rice beat Tulsa 42-10.
There you go. Congratulations.
And very impressive, I guess. Devin?
Do you remember where I went to school?
Middle Tennessee.
That's right. I would love to talk about Blue Raider football. I can't. because they are terrible this year. I would love to talk about Purdue football for my son. I can't do that either because they're terrible this year. So I'll defer basketball season. I'll be back on their behalf. Really what I want to say is we should all be very happy that we're getting Matt from American Constructors. The CEO, his partner in crime, is also a Rotarian, but he chose the wrong club. So we get the better and the smarter, and I'll just say the better looking of the officers of America.
There you go. All right. Matt, you want to say anything?
I agree.
That's $1. Oh, he gave the 20. All right.
All right.
I think we can close it down with the 20.
I think we
Very good.
You did a great job.
All right.
I don't know that I'll ever ask you to do that again, Alan. But you did a great job. Did a great job. Okay. I'm just glad that you were willing to give the microphone to somebody else. Well, thank you, Alan. Wonderful job. We raised a lot of money there. Without further ado, I do want to invite Stephen Hammers, president-elect of our club, to the podium to deliver our Foundation Drive program. As I mentioned earlier this year, this is not an easy program to do, but it is very important. And so I hope that you will all take a minute to kind of plug in and think about what we're about to go through in terms of the Foundation Drive. But this is an opportunity for us to do what we do, which is good works, both here in our local community and across the world. And so what Stephen's going to do is going to share with you kind of how the money comes in through this drive and then how it gets allocated through that. So with that, Stephen Hammers, please join me at the microphone.
Thank you, Drew. Alan, I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to speak today. You know, it's very ironic. I was preparing for this and I was on the Club Runner looking up information and I noticed that 25 years ago this week on the 18th, I joined Rotary and I've never looked back. I've loved it ever since. I've got to meet a lot of friends. But I will say when I joined, I was 10 years old and everybody else was 80 years old. But there are a handful of those of you that are still here, which means you're really old. Curry, I'm not looking at you, I promise. This is really exciting. I've learned a lot about it. It took me 25 years, 26 next year to finally become president. You know, y'all didn't want me for the longest time. And after a lot of begging, I finally made it to this point. But the Rotary Foundation, you know, I spent a lot of years sitting out there donating and very happy to do it. But until you dig into really what it's about, you don't know. And I like to say you don't know what you don't know, but you know when you look into it. And so the objective of today is to just be informative. That's all we're trying to do. I'm not going to dig into where every little dime's going and what the budget looks like or what all that looks like, but just what is it about? How do we get recognized? You know, what type of foundation is the Rotary Foundation? How well is it known around the world? And how can we help? As well as, all right, clicker. Oh, I gotta turn it on. Usually works when you turn it on. There you go. Come on, go back one. I don't think I do. Go back, go back, go back. Going forward. Second one, there you go. All right. What is the Rotary Foundation and how can we help the world and how can we participate? When we look at the Rotary Foundation in of the Rotary International, it helps Rotarians to advance an understanding, goodwill, peace by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and elevating poverty. So it's a very, very wide spectrum. We hear of Rotary Foundation is helping polio, and that's a big part of what we do in terms of the health side of Rotary. Rotary was founded in 1917 at the convention Outgoing Rotary President Art Klump proposed setting up the endowment for the purpose of doing good in the world. That one idea has allowed Rotary to contribute over $4 billion over the years. He actually contributed $26.50 to start that Rotary. How much is that today? Anybody have an idea? A lot of money. It's about he started with $700. Our contribution of $700 is significant. It's amazing what it'll do, and I'll kind of explain that in a minute. But it has actually transformed lives around the world. It's actually saved millions of lives, especially due to the polio vaccine. When we look at Rotary, since it was founded, I already mentioned that it's already contributed and spent over $4 billion in sustainable projects. But the areas of focus that we have in Rotary are very vast. We do disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, peace and conflict prevention and resolution, and protecting the environment. So it is a huge spectrum of what Rotary can do. Many look at the Rotary Foundation and say, well, they're big in polio. You know, they may do a little project here and there, but no, they're vast. It's quite significant what Rotary can do. The nice thing I like about it, when I look at a charity, and I've given to many charities over the years, I like to know, how do they handle their money? Where does it go? Charity Navigator is a website that you can pull up any charity you want and see, you know, what kind of charity it is. And the Rotary International Foundation is 100 out of 100 score, 4-star in terms of confidence, that you can rely on that charity. Financial, it's also 100 out of 100, it's 4 stars. Very stable, very financially sound foundation. Accountability and transparency. You can go anytime to the Rotary website and find out what's going on in terms of where money's going. So very, very impressive. But not only are they a 4-star, 91% of all funds are spent on programs and operations to get the funds out there. Anytime you're that high, you're a very reputable, you can count on where your money's going. It's very, very impressive. How can the Rotary Foundation make it happen? There's a lot of things that Rotary Foundation can do. I'm only going to spend a little bit of time on a few. The foundation helps build lives. It helps establish power in areas that need it. It helps heal and provide medical supplies for thousands of needy people. Give an example. Rebuilding lives. The foundation Rotarians have assisted in rebuilding homes and lives of residents in Puerto Rico after the Hurricane Maria. Assistance came through building and repairing homes. Assistance came through materials and supplies, food, clothing, toiletries, medical supplies, medical health needs, shelter for the homeless. Rotarians just dug in and went to work, just like what we're doing in Dixon. It's happening all over the world. It's happening all over the country. And the foundation is very instrumental in helping this. In terms of light, very interested in this. I guess the reason why, for the first time this week, we decided to sign up on Peacock and watch Yellowstone. Never seen it before. A lot of Indian reservations, all that. And they live very, very poor. But the Rotary Foundation has been very instrumental in teaming up with Rotarians with the Navajo Nation to bring solar lights to remote off-grid homes on Native American Indian reservations. In 2016, there was about 16,000 Navajo homes that didn't even have access to electricity. And this is in our country. Kerosene lamps were not enough, and electricity infrastructure was too difficult and way too expensive to obtain. Thanks to our contributions and contributions of Rotarians around the world, we came to assist, and we're helping to provide light. We're helping to build that infrastructure. Love it. Very, very impressive. A lot of stuff going on in the world in terms of refugees. Thousands of refugees have been streaming into Poland, Germany, other countries in Europe from Syria and other countries that are in great conflict, which has strained their healthcare system. There's a chart on the Rotary Foundation website looking at the millions and millions of people that are going all over Europe. Rotarians help build a network of volunteer doctors to help all those needs. Assistance came through the foundation for medical supplies, makeshift clinics. So it's not just the Far East turmoil. It's not just Israel. It's not just Ukraine, but refugees are going all over Europe. But where do I go to get out of this conflict? But Rotarians are helping out. It's very heartwarming, very touching that we belong to an organization that really cares and is willing to help no matter what it takes. It doesn't matter if it's mental, physical, electric, water, polio, it really doesn't matter. 73 million in global grants were given through the Rotary Foundation 21 to 22. This is on their website. Very interesting information. 478 grants were from the district, 207 were disaster response grants, 1,199 were global grants, and one program of a scale grant. I don't know exactly what that is, scale grant, but every single year, funds are going where we want them to go. So when you help and donate to the foundation, it's very, very promising. Actually, I didn't go that slide. It's very promising. Why isn't it going? It's very promising that we have grants being fulfilled all over the world and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars all over the world. Here's an example looking at just the global grants only. 38 million went to disease prevention and treatment. A lot of that had to do with polio. Community economic development, education, child health, peace building, water, environment. Our funds are going somewhere. But the one that we know of the most is polio. Many years ago, Rotary decided that we're going to totally annihilate polio. And we've done an amazing, amazing job in Polio Plus. It is actually Rotary's top philanthropic priority. Since 1988, Rotary and its partners have immunized nearly 3 billion children against polio virus. That's amazing. As of June 30th, 2021, Rotary has committed to $2.2 billion to eradicate polio across the globe. And it's working. Polio Plus partners granted $152.9 million just in 2021 Rotary year. The goal of each club is $3,000 a club. Now, thankfully, we're doing a lot better than that, but which means we're actually providing more impact. So what impact can one donation have? For as little as 60 cents, a child can be protected from polio. That's it. Just 60 cents. $50 can provide clean water to help fight waterborne illnesses. $500 can launch an anti-bullying campaign and create safe environment for children. Take any dollar amount, it can do something and have a major effect. It doesn't matter if it's 60 cents or $1,000. It really doesn't matter. One thing I'd like for everybody to know is, what does all this recognition mean? We hear about Paul Harris Fellows. We hear about major donors. We hear about all this, but what exactly is it? It's to recognize people that are faithful and contribute. If you contribute $100, you're what's called a sustaining member. A benefactor of the endowment is one that applies $1,000 or more to their estate. If you have a will and you're putting Rotary Foundation in there of at least $1,000, you're benefacting that to the Rotary Foundation. Paul Harris Fellows, what we see a lot. We were just awarded a Paul Harris Fellow today. It's $1,000 to the annual fund, Portfolio Plus, or any approved foundation grant. At least $1,000. Once you reach that, you've reached level 1. If you keep contributing, you go all the way up to level 9. There is something called I'll mention this in the next slide, a Paul Harris Fellow Society, which you can actually, if you're gonna contribute $1,000 a year, you can do it automatically to make your life easier. I'll talk about next slide, but multiple Paul Harris Fellows is when you get over $1,000, you're level 1 through 9. Many of us in here are Paul Harris Fellows, and I'll give you a number on the next slide. We also have what's called the Society, which means you're contributing regular every year. If you want to make it easier and just not do one lump sum, just continue to do that monthly, quarterly. We actually have several in the club doing that. That's called the Paul Harris Society. You're contributing regularly. Major donor is 1,000 or more, or 10,000 or more. We actually have 27 in this club that are major donors. 27. That's not current, that's today and going back. Okay. 27 major donors. Our Clump Society, it's $250,000 more. We have one. Unfortunately, she passed away, but we have one. Benefactors, we have 9 of us Rotarians in the Brentwood Rotary. This isn't just in this room, it's going back in our club history. We have 9 Bequest Society, 81 Paul Harris Fellows. You know, and we're still climbing. Our goal is to get 100%. Every new member comes in, the goal is to be a Paul Harris Fellow. 27 donors and 1 Arc Clump Society. Who is Paul Harris? I gotta say, when I joined Rotary, the first 5 or 6 years, I didn't know who it was. He's actually the Rotary's founder back in Chicago in 1905. He lived from 1868 to 1947. Before his death in 1947, he made it known that he preferred the contributions to the Rotary Foundation in lieu of flowers. He was he was very, very interested in it. Even though it started in 1917, he said, you know what? No. Send to the foundation, send to the foundation. He believed in it 100%. That's where we have Paul Harris Fellow today. It's to honor him as the founder of Rotary. Let's talk about BRCCF. BRCCF is our Brentwood Rotary Club Charitable Foundation. It was established in 1996. It's for us to do good in our local community. We also do things globally, but it's a 501c3. It is a charitable arm of our club with separate bylaws. Totally separate from the operation of the club. The Board of Trustees is the chair, the secretary, treasurer, and the trustees. We provide community grants, scholarships, the exclusive playground, where you'll see in a minute. Several years ago, we provided transportation needs to Amy Hawkins. I remember that. I was very involved in that. So the golf tournament is big. Let me flip a couple slides here. If y'all remember the golf tournament, last year we had 120,000 raised. That actually goes into our BRCCF. This year, we don't have the final number. We're going to let Larry announce that. But we're either close or better. Pancake Day, if y'all remember that. Last year was 13,000. This year's a little over 11,000. This all goes into the BRCCF, our local foundation. Inclusive playground. Many of you are very instrumental in this. We raised over $37,000 for this playground. It's amazing what it provides. Families day after day after day go there. And it's thanks to Rotary and the contributions we make. So everything you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's on a local level, the BRCCF, global level, Rotary National, it doesn't matter. We're providing a significant amount of benefit to our community. Baptist Children's Home, we've done that for years and years and years. You ought to see those kids' faces when it's time to open presents. It's such a blessing. Local community grants over and over again. You've seen the days that they'll come here and we all provide them a check. It's such a blessing to see that. That is what we're about. Servicing the community, contributing to the community to create a better community. Scholarships. We've seen students come by and tell them how we've transformed their lives because we're helping them in their education. So it's not just locally. We do things globally. It doesn't matter whether it's going to Belize or other places. We're continuously doing that every year. Let me tell you a little bit about contributing today and over the next 4 weeks. All pledges must be in by the 30th. You've all received this form, whether it's on your table or by email. Your name's at the top. Your current level of your contribution is also on the top right-hand corner. I happen to be a major donor. In the upper top right-hand corner, it says what I am. If you're a certain level of Paul Harris Fellow, it'll state that too. Your contribution to the next level will also be listed. Please do your best to make that contribution or greater if you'd like. $300 will at least reach the goal. We actually have a total goal of $65,400. $32,700 is going to the Rotary Foundation. That minimum to reach that goal per Rotarian here is $300. If you want to go beyond that, you can. It'll just go to your next Paul Harris Fellow level. All the checks have got to be in by the end of the year, obviously. If you complete this section and you're already a Paul Harris Fellow, you can designate that you want to leave that recognition to somebody else. It could be a family member. It could be another Rotarian. If it doesn't matter to you, then just pick option 2 and we'll help you decide. So we can always use 100% contribution to Paul Harris Fellow. So Rotary International, the foundation, you are making it possible. Every single one of us. Every year that I've contributed, every year that every one of you else contributed, you can walk away saying, I am having a significant impact in the world. My generous gift is going to help save the lives of others. It's going to provide medical supplies, water, food, clothing, the things that they need. So if you are the slightest bit interested in having an impact to the world, the Rotary Foundation is a great place to start. And today's our kickoff. And so between now and the end of June, we're going to have a score up there and we're going to goal 65,000. That's our goal. So any questions? We got 5 minutes left. Otherwise, we're going to start our kickoff. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I don't have a book, actually. That's, but a couple things that I will add. Sometimes these things can seem distant, but and I noticed Charles has left, but we were talking at the table. I've got 2 distinguished past district governor, Dick Bowers, and the chair of the BRCCF, Tom Carr, with me. We were talking earlier, like there's not many places where you can go and you can essentially turn $500 into $1,500, but with the Rotary Foundation you can, because there's the exponential power of matching, because you've got the Rotary Foundation and then you've got district grants, so you can take money that you contribute to the local foundation and leverage that. And that becomes really powerful. It's harder to kind of envision unless you've seen it in person. And I mentioned that Charles had left, but I was there. So I saw it in person where he had gone on a trip. His wife is from India originally. He went on a trip to India to visit family. And he came back and I had identified a need that the local foundation could fund, but then apply for matching grants to effectively, what it ultimately did is helped an orphanage in Bangalore to get access to technology and some maintenance upgrades that they didn't have. And so when you see that in action and you see what the money that you can contribute to this foundation can do through the power of matching, it is very powerful. And so, Stephen, thank you for that. I appreciate your contribution to this effort, and I hope that you will actively participate in the foundation drive. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the last date? Because I cannot see that. What is the last date that we are going to report out team reports? November 16th. So the forms that you had on the table, that's when they will be due. Then we will collect checks prior to December 31st. And we look forward to your active participation in the foundation drive. Stephen, again, thank you. Remember, today is the last day for the 50th anniversary banquet. Sign up. Website, email. It either came from me or Jack. We'd love to see you there at Richland Country Club next Thursday at 6 p.m. Sam, Josh, Banks, Jay, Steve, welcome. Jay, Steve, and Banks, we are grateful for your interest in our club and look forward to talking through you more with you more through the application process for membership. Matt, welcome. We know that there will be great things to come from you as a member of this club, and we're grateful to have you. If there is nothing else for the good of Rotary, then please, if you can, Bert. Very short-staffed in putting up tables and chairs. So if you can, and I failed to mention, I will be there, and I'm glad that Bert, your comments mentioned Brentwood Baptist. It was, I'm sure I will see many of you this afternoon, but the visitation for Sue Kane will be from 3 to 4 p.m. at Brentwood Baptist, followed by a memorial service at 4 p.m. I will be there, and I hope that I see many of you there because Larry has spent countless hours investing in this club, and the relationships that he has built here are one of the most meaningful things to him, and Sue being the most meaningful thing to him, person or thing to him. And it will be a hard day for Larry, but I hope that we will all show up to be there and to support him. So if you can, please stay, stack chairs in stacks of 8. And if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, then we are adjourned.